Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today it is March 7th, 2023. It's on Tuesday and sunny outside. How are you spending Tuesday? Do you like Tuesday? Are you getting used to the lifestyle in a week after day offs on Saturdays and Sundays? I think some people are getting used to the lifestyle of the week after day off on Saturday and Sunday. But but whenever we think about the left days on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we might get depressed a little. But it depends on how we feel, how we deal with the jobs, and so on. Which day do you prefer in a week? Which day do you prefer in a week? I feel happiest on Friday's night. I used to feel happiest on Friday's night and felt depression on Sunday's night. It can be said to many people, I guess. I felt happiest on Friday's night and felt the highest depression on Sunday's night. Do you feel the same? According to our information, we feel happiest when we expect something. So the reason why I feel happiest on Friday's night, I can expect the day off of Saturdays and Sundays. I cannot visit the area without stopping by the convenience store. I cannot go back home without using app coupon. I cannot go home without using app coupon. I'd like to use it app before going home because it is only available for today. Do you have any idea to prevent the aging of the population? Is there any idea to prevent the aging of the population, society? To my surprise, the celebrity who is often appearing on TV was sitting right behind me. I didn't realize it until I saw him with his eyes. To my surprise, the celebrities who often appear on TV were sitting right behind me. I didn't realize it until I saw them after the show. So I couldn't believe it. I still cannot believe it. Osaka is often regarded as the second biggest city behind Tokyo. I came in third behind my rival. I came in third behind my rival. He came in the second. And someone or some came in the first. I felt someone walking behind me, but when I looked back, I couldn't find anyone. It must have been a ghost. Sometimes I'm being chased by someone from behind me, by car or by walk. I'm sometimes chased from behind me. I'm sometimes chased behind me when I'm driving. In that case, I try to take a different route, which I rarely use, I seldom use, in order to avoid the chase. In psychologically, if one person starts something, the others will follow, right behind the first person. But becoming the first needs a lot of confidence, so not many people will be the first. The employee resigned right behind me. More and more employees started to resign behind me. More and more members started to secede from the association right behind me. More and more members started to secede from the entity behind the CEO resignation. I came in the second, right behind the first. I came in the second, right behind the first. I was so regretted of the result. I really wanted to be the first. I really wanted to come in first. But it cannot be helped. I came in the second, right behind the first. But I will take advantage of this depressing feeling for the next race running. I will make the most of this depression for the next race, so that I can be first, so that I can come in first next. Which is the second largest company, right behind the company A, regarding the amount of profits. Which is the second largest company right behind the company A regarding the amount of profits. I'm so vulnerable to criticisms. I'm so vulnerable to criticisms. My immune system is very weak, so I'm vulnerable to even common cold. I'm vulnerable to any viruses. My immune system is weakened due to the medicine I'm taking recently, so I'm vulnerable to almost everything. I'm super vulnerable to criticisms. I'm super vulnerable to criticisms. I'm super vulnerable to criticisms. I am super vulnerable to criticisms. Glass is vulnerable to being dropped on the ground. The surface of the device is so vulnerable to scratching. So please take care. Please handle that with caution, with a lot of care, with a lot of caution. Thank you. The government recommended those with pre-existing illnesses and weakened immune system to have the vaccination. The government recommended those with pre-existing illnesses or weakened immune system to have the vaccination. I have a pre-existing illness. I have pre-existing illnesses. So I asked my doctor if I can get the vaccination. I've already had some pre-existing illnesses and taking medicines. So I asked my doctor if I can take the vaccination. I've had pre-existing illnesses and taking some medicines for that. So I asked my doctor if I can get the vaccination of coronavirus. The government recommended those who have pre-existing illnesses to have the vaccination earlier. Pre-existing illness. I hope all of the illnesses will be eradicated perfectly, drastically, thoroughly, once and for all. I was asked to fill out the vacants, one of which was regarding my pre-existing illnesses. In the medical survey, I was asked to fill out information including my pre-existing illnesses. In the medical survey, I was asked to fill out some information including my pre-existing illnesses. Pre-existing illnesses. Pre-existing illness. Do you have a pre-existing illness? Do you have a pre-existing illness? Do you have a pre-existing illness? What diseases are included pre-existing illnesses? What illnesses are included in the pre-existing illnesses? Is a migraine included in the pre-existing illness? What are included in the pre-existing illnesses commonly? In effect, I wanted to make the pair of speakers which sound the most beautiful sound in the world. I wanted to create a pair of speakers which emit the most high quality sound in the world. The aim of having entered the university was to learn about audiovisual and to create a pair of speakers which have the most beautiful sound in the world. In effect, everything will not go as we anticipated. In effect, it usually doesn't go as we anticipated, expected, predicted, presumed, supposed. In fact, the things won't go as we anticipated. In effect, the things won't go as we anticipated mostly. In fact, things won't go mostly as we anticipated. Students are trying to enter leading companies. Students are trying to enter leading companies. Some graduates are trying to enter leading companies after the graduation. There are some songs affecting my life for good. The words or encouragement from someone have the power to have an effect on us. The lyrics of the songs can affect us, have an effect on us. Sound, beautiful sound, message from friends, and so on, can have an effect on us in a good way. Excuse me, but I don't have a reservation for today. But is there a vacant single room available? Excuse me, is there a vacant single room available? But I don't have the reservation. Excuse me, I don't have a reservation, but is there a single room available? Sure. According to the information written on the explanation board, the dock will be filled up with the seawater, in 2 hours. According to the information written on the board, the dock will be filled up with seawater in 2 hours. Could you fill that bathtub up with hot water? How long will it take to fill up the water? Fill up the bathtub. Fill the bathtub up with the hot water. How long does it take? How long does it take to fill up the bathtub with water? How long does it take to fill up the bathtub with water? How long does it take to fill the bathtub up with water? I sometimes forget stopping the faucet and realizing that the bathtub is filled up with water. I was educated to pour the sake into the glass until it fills up with it enough. I was educated at the Japanese restaurant to pour sake into the glass until it fills up with sake. As soon as the celebrity appeared at the station filled up with fans immediately. The instant the celebrity appeared at the station, it filled up with the fans, pedestrians. How long does it take for the dog to fill up with seawater? How long does it take for the dog to fill up with the water? How long does it take for the bathtub to fill up with the water? How long does it take for the bathtub to fill up with water? I usually start to fill in the bathtub with water and come back to the bathroom when it's ready, when it fills up with water. I'm calculating with my body time. I get super frail after performance. I'm super frail after performance. I tend to be super frail before performance and super fine after performance. I am inclined to be super frail before performance. I am apt to be super frail before performance. Frail. How can I improve my frail personality? Can I improve my frail personality by exercising or starting kickboxing and so on? Can I improve my frail personality by studying kickboxing? Some people pretend to be so strong in a group, but many of them are actually frail individually. I've been frail since I was born. I have been frail since I was born because I have some or many pre-existing illnesses. Pre-existing illnesses like atopic dermatitis, asthma, and some others. I'm allergic to almost everything in the universe. Can you imagine how hard to live with my diseases? I really wished I were as healthy as commoners without diseases. But it cannot be helped with the current medical technology. But I hope the future medical technology will eradicate all of my diseases. And since I have a weakened immune system, I easy to contract even common cold. Once I get common cold, it takes longer than average for me to recover from that. Since I have a weaker immune system due to pre-existing illnesses, I easy to contract viruses. I easy to contract common cold. I easy to contract common cold. Since I have weaker immune system due to pre-existing illnesses, I easy to contract common cold. If I get common cold, it takes longer than average to recover from that. I've contracted many diseases ever. I've contracted many diseases ever, destroying my adolescence. I've contracted many diseases, destroying my adolescence. We, most of us in this generation wear a mask to avoid contracting viruses. Many of us wear a mask in this era in order to avoid contracting viruses, diseases, and so on. Even before Corona era, some people were wearing a mask so as to avoid contracting viruses, diseases. Have you ever contracted flu? Have you ever contracted flu? I still remember how tough to cope with the flu, and I could feel the strength of the medicine called Tamiflu. It worked so well. I still remember my temperature went up to 40 degrees Celsius. I was about to die, but I could recover. So I really don't wanna experience that hard time again. So I try to be careful. I will try to be careful so that I won't contract the flu again. I was listening to panel discussion in which the experts were discussing about the vaccination rate. I was listening to the panel discussion in which the experts were discussing the vaccination rate. If the vaccination rate goes up more than 60%, the situation might be better. According to the information from the panel discussion, it was said that if the vaccination rate went up to more than 60%, the situation would be better. The situation and the number of infections might be held down, but it's not for sure. The population density in the museum was relatively small this morning. I usually visit restaurants with relatively low prices. Washing hands and rinse our throat after arriving at home is a common way to prevent us from getting virus, common cold, and so on. We often said to wash our hands after coming home by our parents. We were often said to wash our hands after arriving at home, soon after arriving at home, as soon as we arrived at home by parents. We were often said to wash our hands soon after arriving at home. In the first place, we were often told our parents to wash our hands as soon as we arrived at home. In the first place. How many diseases do you know? Do you know such diseases as strokes, diabetes, obesity, cancer, eczema, asthma, pneumonia, and so on, and the like. could you explain the common symptoms of pneumonia? How is pneumonia created? How is pneumonia caused? What are the common causes of getting pneumonia? Is the pneumonia inflammation of the lung, right? Is the pneumonia the inflammation of the lungs, right? How can we prevent pneumonia from developing pneumonia? How can we prevent from developing pneumonia? How can we prevent from developing pneumonia? Acute or chronic pneumonia, 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 pneumonia. Maybe I haven't developed pneumonia ever. But I have asthma, so I know how difficult I breathe when my asthma acts up. I have asthma, so I know how difficult I breathe when the bout is happening, when the bout is acting up. I used to use the Saltanol inhaler. I don't know how to say it in English, but it was called Saltanol inhaler to widen the 気管 to widen the throat. What can we do as precautions to prevent pneumonia from happening? What can we do as preventions to prevent pneumonia? Unfortunately, commodity prices are on the rise, on the increase. Unfortunately, the prices of many commodities have been on the rise, have been on the increase. Unfortunately, the prices of many merchandises are on the increase, are on the rise. Unfortunately, the prices of many goods are on the rise, on the increase. After the pandemic, the number of tourists were in the decline. After the pandemic, the number of tourists were in the decline. Recently, the number of tourists has been increasing after the lift of the border measure. The border measure was such a deadly measure for tourism industry. The border measure was deadly for tourism industry, not only tourism industry, but also other industries too. Drunk driving is deadly. Drunk driving is as good as deadly. We've overcome deadly situations, which made us stronger. Maybe we will be faced with deadly situations at some point in our life. Maybe this is inevitable. This cannot be avoidable, I think. We will be confronted with inevitable situations, deadly situations sometime in our life, at some point in our life, Maybe this is inevitable. These are inevitable. In the course of our life, we will be confronted with deadly situations. I think these are inevitable. This is life, I think. I presume, I predict, I bet, I guess. If it is the thing which I am not interested in, I will do it deadly. Definitely. If it is the thing I'm not interested in, I will be doing that deadly. So I respect those who can do things which they don't have the interest in. I've got through many deadly situations. I've got over many deadly situations. According to my parent, I got through fatal situations soon after I was born. According to my parent, I could overcome deadly situation soon after I was born. According to my parent, I went through deadly situation when I was born. According to my parent, I got through fatal deadly situation when I was born. Deadly situation. Unhealthy lifestyle would be deadly. We need to follow the rules in order to avoid deadly situations, especially when it comes to driving a car. We have to follow the speed limitation in order to avoid deadly situations. I was with a deadly condition with the flu sometimes. I still remember the deadly condition. I still remember with the deadly condition with the flu. So I don't wanna contract flu again. It won't be until we lose our health that we might know the importance of our health. It won't be until we lose our health. It won't be. It won't be until we lose our health that we might know the importance of our health. It won't be until we lose our health that we might know the importance of our health. I saw employees of night shift coming out of the factory in the morning. I was entering the company at night with night shift deadly. Some employees were getting out of the factory deadly in the morning. Some employees with the night shift were coming out of the building deadly. If it is not interesting, if it is a thing which I'm not interested in, I will be doing that deadly. Some animals have the strategy to protect themselves from enemies by stopping moving deadly. Some animals have the strategy and skill to avoid risky situations from enemies by stopping moving deadly. Some animals have the skill and strategy in order to protect themselves from enemies by stopping moving deadly. Some animals have the skills and strategies in order to protect themselves from enemies by being silent, stopping moving deadly. Some animals have the skill so as to avoid risky situations from enemies by pretending to be dead. Some animals have the skill in order to escape from enemies by pretending to be dead. I was almost dead every time after the club activity. I was almost dead. I was every day dead. I was almost dead every time after the club activities. Do you think a lack of exercise will weaken our mental too? Do you think that the lack of exercise will also weaken our mentality? The medicine I'm taking recently weakens my immune system, so which means I'm more vulnerable to viruses. The medicine I'm currently using weakens my immune systems, which means I'm more vulnerable to viruses now. So I have to be careful so that I won't be infected with other viruses, diseases, and so on. I don't want to see you weakening. I want to see you as funny as ever. I want to see you as funny as you. I want to see as funny you as you. As funny. I want to see you as funny as ever. I don't want to see you weakening. And passing time will weaken the strength of the wood. Hunger will make us weaker. Being hungry will make everyone weaker. Being hungry will make everyone weaker. Being hungry will make everybody weakened. Cold weather makes me 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 weakened. I tend to weaken before performance. I am inclined to weaken before performance. I am apt to weaken before performance. I am apt to weaken before performance and get fine after performance. I am inclined to weaken before performance. I am apt to weaken before performance. I am inclined to weaken before performance. I make it a rule to exercise regularly to strengthen my muscle, and also, I hope, which will help to improve my mental health. I make it a rule to exercise regularly in order to strengthen my both physical and mental health. I make it a rule to exercise regularly in order to improve mental and physical health. Some extra timber was added to the basement of the house to strengthen the base. Some extra timbers were adapted on the stream of the house to strengthen the architecture, to strengthen the framework. Thicker timber was used for the stream in order to strengthen the architecture, in order to strengthen the base. Thicker timbers were used for the basement in order to strengthen the duration. Does the exercise strengthen mentality too? Does the exercise strengthen our mentality too? In the course of making mistakes, we will strengthen and approach to perfection. In the course of making mistakes, we will strengthen. In the course of becoming an adult, we strengthen. In the course of becoming an adult, we strengthen. In the process of becoming an adult, we strengthen. In the process of becoming an adult, we strengthen. In the course of becoming an adult, I strengthened. In the course of making mistakes and becoming an adult, we strengthen. In the process of making mistakes, becoming an adult, we strengthen. The confusing system is one of the reasons why not many people are using it. Concise system will lead to more users. Concise is the key to more number of users. The system is confusing. Which is one of the reasons why not many people are using it. I wish I could have more systematic education. Systematic education. I wish I could have got more systematic education. Current students can get more systematic education than those I got in the past. Current students can get more systematic educations than those I got in the past. Systematic approach. Systematic course. Systematic way. We can learn in a systematic way in the course. We can learn conveniently. Everything is condensed in the course, so we can learn the things systematically in a systematic approach. Systematic approach. Systematic textbook. With recent technologies, we can learn things more systematically compared to the past. There are many options to learn, and we can learn things in a more systematic way now. Systematic. Thank you for your systematic education. Thank you for your systematic teaching. Thank you for your systematic directions. Thank you for the systematic practical training. Thank you for your systematic practical training. Systematic way of thinking. I try to have systematic way of thinking. One of the reasons why many people flock to the shopping mall is systematic. One of the reasons why many people flock to the shopping mall is systematic. Many shops are condensed into one stop. Systematic. Systematic way of systematic strategy. Systematic approach. Strategy. Method. Systematic approach. Systematic approach. Systematic. Systematic. Systematic approach. Systematic approach. Systematic approach. Systematic. 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 Systematic approach. Systematic education. Systematic. Thank you for your systematic advices. Thank you for your systematic practical training. And thanks to the systematic lecture at the school, we can learn everything in one stop. Thanks to the systematic lecture at the school, we can learn everything in one stop, in one place. Thanks to the systematic lecture at the school, we can learn everything efficiently in one stop, in one place. Thanks to the systematic education and lecture at the school, we can learn everything related to the language efficiently in one place. Thanks to the systematic educational system. Thanks to the systematic lecture by the teachers at the school, we can learn everything in relation to the subject efficiently in one place. Systematic. We can learn the things systematically in the school. I'd like to learn the thing which I'm interested in systematically before I start my business. Of course, with reasonable prices. Systematic way of thinking. Systematic and well-organized plan, strategy, skill, way of thinking. Systematic strategy of the shopping mall. Systematic strategy of the shopping mall. Shopping mall is a systematic. Shopping mall is a typical example of systematic strategy. Systematic education, systematic approach. Systematic approach. Systematic facility. Systematic facility where you can buy anything. Systematic facility where everything can be solved. I want the systematic place where all problems are solved at one place. Systematically. Systematic. Systematic approach. Systematic approach. Let's adopt a systematic approach. Systematic entity. Systematic education. Thanks to the systematic education, I didn't find difficulty in working in the company because I could learn everything at the school. Thanks to the systematic education, we don't have difficulty in working in a society. And thanks to the systematic education at the school, I don't have difficulty in immersing in the new environment in the school, in the university. Thanks to the systematic content of the textbook, I do not have to buy another one. Thanks to the systematic textbook, I do not have to buy another one. Systematic. I'm looking for a systematic textbook. I'm looking for a systematic textbook so that I don't have to buy another one. I'm looking for a systematic textbook with easy explanation, with concise explanation. Do you know a facility where I can learn tea ceremony systematically? Is there a facility where I can learn English systematically? Shopping mall is a good example of systematical approach. Shopping mall is a good example of systematic approach. Shopping mall is a typical example of systematic approach. Systematic. Shopping mall is a typical instance of systematic approach. Systematic approach. Systematically. I wish I could have learned the stuff more systematically, but there were no enough options I can choose in those days. I wish I could have learned the things which are my interests more systematically. I'd like to learn everything systematically and with a simpler way. Systematically. systematically, systematically. Systematically solving place. Is there a place where all of the problems are solved systematically? Is there a place where all of the problems are resolved systematically? One feature of the university is that you can learn your subject systematically with enough tools, teachers, facilities, benefits, and so on. In the university, you can learn your subjects systematically with tools, with enough selection of textbooks, facilities, studying abroad opportunity, and so on. We can enjoy shopping systematically in the shopping mall. Systematically solving strategy, method, way. Systematically solving method. Systematically. Systematically. I'd like to learn English systematically in one stop, in one place. Where I can learn English systematically for my 4 skills: reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Is there a facility where I can learn English systematically, including listening, reading, writing, and speaking? Is there a cram school or such facilities where I can learn English systematically, including reading, listening, writing, and speaking skills? Where can I improve my 4 language skills, including speaking, writing, listening, and speaking? I envy such environment where people can learn systematically, especially in big companies, universities, and so on. I envy such environments where people can learn things systematically. I really envy such wealthy environment where people can learn things more systematically. I really envy such wealthy environments where people can learn things systematically. I really envy such environment where people can learn things systematically. I really envy big companies where people can have many benefits. I really envy such environments where people can learn things systematically. Systematically educational system, educational opportunity, educational environment. Systematically learning environment. Systematically learning environment is very important. Systematically learning environment is very important. Are there tools in which I can learn English systematically? Are there tools or applications in which I can learn English systematically? Are there applications or tools in which I can learn English systematically, including reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills? Are there applications or tools in which I can learn English systematically in order to improve all of the 4 skills, including speaking, listening, reading, and writing? If only I had been 2 or 3 years younger. If only I had been 2 or 3 years younger, I would apply for the job. I would apply for the job. I would participate in the party. I would participate in the kindergarten. By the time I arrived at the stadium, the game had already started. When I arrived at the train station, the last train had already gone. I had been studying for more than 10 hours when my parents stopped me. I had been studying for more than 10 hours when my mother stopped me. I had been waiting for my friend at the station when she finally appeared. I had waited for my friend at the station for more than 30 minutes when she finally appeared, turned up. I could understand the line of the movie better since I had already watched it 3 times. I could guide my friends around Tokyo because I had already been there more than 100 times. It had been about 10 years when we met at the station yesterday. It had been about 10 years when we met at the station last year. I had already achieved some of my goals when I achieved that, when I passed the examination. I had already experienced giving myself an injection when I got the direction of giving myself an injection at the hospital. I had already gone to Okinawa when we went there together, so I could guide my friends around. I had already gone to Okinawa twice when we went there together, so I could guide my friend around. I've just finishing my showering. I've just finished my showering. I've got the documents from my company. I've just got the invitation to the wedding ceremony. Have you ever been to Tokyo? Have you ever climbed Mount Fuji? It has been raining since last week. It has been sunny since last week. How long have you lived in Osaka? Since I was born. I have lived in Osaka since I was born. I have lived in Kyoto since I was born. This time tomorrow, I will be at the airport. This time tomorrow, I will be at the airport. This time tomorrow, we'll be having lunch at the famous cafe. This time tomorrow, I will have finished my performance. This time tomorrow, I will have finished the examination. This time tomorrow, I will have finished the examination and maybe going back now. We'll be going back home now. By the time 2025, I hope I will have passed examination. By the time 2025, I hope I will have passed examination. I hope I will have passed examination. I hope I will have passed examination. Passed. I hope I will pass examination. I hope I will pass examination by 2025. I will have been studying since until I die. I will have been doing what I'm loving to do until I die. I will have love you. I will have love you forever, eternally, perpetually, for good. If I go to the country again, I would have gone there 3 times. If I go to the country again, I will have gone there 3 times. If I go to Okinawa again, I will have gone there 3 times. If I go to Okinawa again, I will have gone there 3 times. I will have been studying until 10 o'clock p.m. today. I will have been studying English until 10 o'clock p.m. today. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you!